Hi, everyone. This is Javy Gwaltney with Game Informer. I'm joined by Jeff Cork. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
And we are checking out a new level from Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus. This is set in New Orleans. You ever been to New Orleans, Jeff?
I've not been to New Orleans.
I have once, and then I watched my father eat ostrich, and it was really weird. But we don't have to talk about that. We can talk about Wolfenstein II, the
I would
new
like
Colossus.
to talk about that. But So anyway, we're in New Orleans.
We're playing as BJ. Or we're not playing. This is just footage. But this is BJ. BJ Blazkowicz from the New Order for all of Wolfenstein, except for when it was like a weird adventure game.
Oh, like the Apple days?
Yeah, the Apple days. Yeah. But yeah, this is an entirely new level. We've already looked at Roswell. I actually played through the Roswell section and came away really impressed. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Wolfenstein, the whole series, but the New Order in particular, I love, flaws and all, and it's got a lot of flaws, so I'm super curious to see how this turns out. Now, I know you finished the New Order recently for like the first time, right?
Yeah, finally got around to playing that.
What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I like the amount of gore that is featured in the game. It's very violent.
Yeah, it's interesting because gore in first-person shooters are interesting because a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's so gross and unnecessary," but I help like it feel or it creates the illusion that my guns actually have power. They're literally blowing apart human beings. Because honestly, it's always been more disturbing in like Call of Duty and stuff when you shoot someone and they just sort of fall over. Creates this sort of unrealistic.
I would argue, JV, that it's disturbing in its own way when you shoot a guy in Wolfenstein and it just paints like an entire corridor with their blood.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's fine.
Okay, that's fine. So anyway, as a super fan of the series, what is standing out to you? And as someone who's been playing a little bit of the new Colossus as well in various demos.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like just sort of design philosophy for the levels because a lot of the New Order was in keeping with the spirit of Wolfenstein and like Doom and all those other id games were corridors. And the thing that I noticed with the new Roswell demo and this demo is there are huge open spaces.
Yeah.
Like all over the place. It's much more arena-like. So that's an interesting direction. Like, you're still walking around shooting for cover, but you have more room to work with, and so do your enemies.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest gameplay difference this go-around is in the New Order, you could only upgrade a single weapon. And it was the superpowered laser craft welding gun.
Yeah.
You could just blow enemies apart with. But with Wolfenstein 2, you can find weapons kits through like every level, and you can upgrade literally every single gun in your arsenal. So like you can add scopes to like your machine guns, silencers to your sniper rifle. You can, I think you can switch through like random kinds of ammunition. So at the cost of not being able to equip your silencer on your pistol, you can have rounds that do twice as much damage.
Okay.
Yeah. And another new thing is you can dual wield with any gun. In the New Order and the Old Blood, you can only dual wield with like two of the same weapons.
Right.
So like shotguns and blah, blah, blah. But in this, like, for example, if you just want BJ to look wacky as hell, you can have like a silenced pistol in one hand and a shotgun in the other because why not?
Yeah, I would argue this looks wacky as hell. The asymmetry, good God, of this is really bothering me. By the way,
of which bit?
Just these two weapons that you see on screen. I don't like that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But I'm interested to see like if there's any tactical value to it.
Yeah.
Like, because I've never been sold on sort of that whole, like, oh, here's a machine gun in one hand and a shotgun in the other.
I can see how that'd be handy, like, in an area like this. There's a guy around the corner you weren't expecting. The answer to that, of course, is shotgun. And then it opens up a little bit more, and there's a guy in the distance, and then you want to switch over your machine gun.
Yeah, that makes sense. And, of course, hatchets are replacing BJ's knife.
Okay.
So, and they've got really gory animations, and we'll see a couple of those in a bit. And also, apparently, I've only seen a bit of this in this demo, but he has a sort of smash melee attack where he just like tackles a dude and just blows him across the wall.
Okay.
I'm not really sure if there's like a power-up bar for that or whatever. They haven't really explained how that works.
Yeah.
Another thing that this gameplay footage has revealed that MachineGames hasn't really talked about, and we saw this in the Roswell demo and the introduction demo that Bert's played at E3, is it capped BJ's health at 50%, and ostensibly the narrative reason for that is he starts the game very disabled, after the events of the first game.
Right.
But he has 100 health here, so that means that there's probably a way to upgrade your health back to like the normal 100 as opposed to having it like cut in half, which is good.
Right.
Like we had a lot of concerns about that. But yeah, also there's this new weird Strider legs thing where he can just, for this level, he can grow like 3 feet. And just...
What?
Yeah, like we just saw that. Like, it'll probably do it again in a minute. He does it several times throughout this level, but it's like the Striders from Half-Life 2 and Dishonored, where like he just grows stilts. It's very strange. And I'm not quite sure what to make of it.
This is very strange.
Yeah. But otherwise, I mean, this looks fairly like the New Order. Obviously, it's better looking. It's on the same engine that they did the new Doom with. So it does look a bit better, but it still looks and what I played plays like Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Right. Just
with better particle effects and more gore and blah, blah, blah. One of the concerns I have, like, obviously this is in New Orleans, and the game's sort of being... Yeah, there's the smash attack. Has been...
I'm not sure I fully understand what just happened there.
He just slammed a guy into a wall.
Okay.
Is being presented as like a road trip through, Nazi-infested America. So like The Last of Us, but with Nazis instead of zombies.
Yeah.
And one of my concerns is like, okay, so they're going through all these cities. They're going through Roswell. They're going through Manhattan. They're going through New Orleans. Are they going to capture like what makes those places cool and vibrant? Because like, for example, we've been in New Orleans forever long so far, and it's just been a giant warehouse and like a couple of streets. Like these are open areas that are cool gameplay wise, but are we going to like the French Quarter or it's kind of a bummer. And from what I've seen so far, and I hope that this isn't the entire experience. It's like, oh, we're in a warehouse in Manhattan, or we're in an underground lab, in San Francisco or something.
Yeah. It's kind of difficult to say. I guess the whole point of this is that it isn't the New Orleans that we're accustomed to, I suppose, right?
Right.
So,
oh, hey, Klan endorses the new regime.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, it is, I guess, supposed to be like that alternate future sci-fi thing, but at the same time, I feel like it should still have some distinct features.
Yeah.
That make it like, okay, this is not just like a generic first-person shooter level in a warehouse. This is actually, this could be feasibly New Orleans.
So maybe some Zydeco is what you're asking for, basically.
Exactly.
Maybe a brass band and get some beads. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fairly accurate. Maybe we go to the swamp.
Go to the swamp. Exactly. I think we're just describing Mafia 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Man, that game. Anyway, we don't need to talk about Mafia 3. But let's forward ahead a little bit and take a look at some cutscenes. So BJ's fought through New Orleans warehouses mostly and has met up with the leader of the New Orleans resistance, Horton.
Okay.
He's a good old Kentucky boy, as you can hear.
So BJ has an interesting looking necklace there.
Yeah, is that a necklace? Like, what is that? Why does... He's got different skin tones going on here.
Huh.
That was a good spit.
It was alright.
You can do a better spit, Cork?
It usually just ends up all over my shirt.
Yonder.
Okay.
We be the outcast, the poor. Well, everyone who ain't part of the American goddamn bourgeois. That man right there, getting himself a drink, that's my old-timer friend Paris Jack. Paris Jack is a brawler, a cutter, a true believing anarchist, and a hell of a clarinet player, ain't that right, Paris?
Don't like to toot my own horn, except literally.
I am not a fan of Horton's accent.
Wait.
It's pretty caricature-y.
Streets are quiet.
That's the one thing, like, I don't know what tone they're going for here.
Yeah, it's, like, I feel like the New Order was a very morose game. Like, it still had sort of the wacky stuff, obviously, like when you're blowing Nazis across the walls, but it was also always very deeply depressing. Like, it was straight up a game about hope versus despair, and it didn't always go wacky in tone. But here, it's just like, I haven't seen any of that somberness. And, like, that's what I want, because that's what grounded those characters in the first game to me. And I'm not really seeing any of that here.
I know who he is. Oh, damn it. Here they come. Paris, I'm feeling a little jittery. Do you mind taking the edge off?
Let me see what I can do about that.
You know, my ma always said...
And, like, I'm not sold on these characters yet because they just feel sort of like knockoffs of wacky, eccentric characters from like a Tarantino movie, as opposed to, you know, like
a weird deal here.
Yeah.
Now listen, Terry Billy, I respect your ambition, but there's nothing can be done no more. The world is sank into the crapper, and all we can do now is drink this whiskey.
See, it just feels weird for the sake of weird.
Didn't expect your belly to be quite so yellow.
We've been fighting for a revolution since long before them Nazis came here. We were the first to start build a civil rights movement to advocate equality for everyone. You know the concept of civil rights, Terry Billy? No, you don't. You're just a jarhead, ain't you?
Daddy, I laid my life on the line for freedom, justice, and the American way, while you and your bohemian friends were passing out Bolshevik propaganda and opposing the draft on every street corner. What good is your fucking equality? You can't muster the backbone to stick up for your people while the coyote's scratching at your front door.
We stood up against the imperialist war machine of the United States of America and the greedy money men of Wall Street who was itching to send the children of the proletariat off to die in foreign lands so that they could be filling their coffers. It weren't their sons bleeding on the beaches. No, they drafted people like you for their dirty work while they was watching the dollars roll in. You're the pawn, the patsy of cantankerous men in Marble Mansion. Well, I see through that shit. Decided not to be a party to it.
And yet here you are, guns in hand, shooting Nazis, just like me. Difference is you come late to the party. Perhaps your kind have gotten their asses in gear. We'd have won the war.
Don't spill that shit on the table, or they'll lead right through it.
This'll get you drunk, Terry Billy, you upstanding lackey of the establishment chief.
Listen, pal, I ain't got time for your horse shit. You gotta make the call. Give up and die or step the fuck up.
I ain't wanting to argue with you, Terry Billy. Too tired to fight.
You tired? Yes, fuck you. I got kids on the way. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna raise them in a world run by these Nazi assholes. So what's it gonna be? You hillbilly, degenerate moonshiner, Bolshevik cowards, goddamn traitors.
Yeah, see, it's just, I don't know.
I don't know if I'm into that.
Yeah, I'm not really sold on that.
Oh, Lord, I ain't never seen a man remain coherent after more than one shot of old Holden Special. I like you, Billy. Like your gumption. All right. Let's start this.
Like, it definitely feels like it's trying to go for like a Gonzo, Allen Ginsberg sort of thing to keep with the times, but I don't think it translates. And I really hope the whole game isn't like that. Because if it's just like wacky shit all the way through, I'm going to be bummed.
Yeah.
So what's your plan?
You're gonna ride it, cowboy. Yes, sir. You're gonna ride on out there, draw off a Nazi fire while we make our way down to the harbor with all those who survived the purge.
Gotcha.
All hinges on that boat of yours showing up.
All right, so this is the Panzerhund. You know, it was one of the monsters from the New Order that had a. It was basically like Jaws.
Yeah.
Like you came across several of them, and they would pursue you for a bit, and then you'd get away or kill it or something.
Yep. And now you get to drive one.
Yep. A fire-breathing one. There's a fire-breathing variation, and there's also a laser-firing one now that they've shown. And the laser one looks weird. It looks like a little frog. But they showed it in the last trailer.
Yeah.
And it's, get this, Cork, it's called a Laserhund. Brilliant.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
All right, some glamour shots.
Yeah, I guess we have to show the swastika, like, from all the angles.
Yeah.
Eh.
There we go.
Let's see what this puppy can do.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what this puppy can do.
Yeah, exactly. So here we're getting a little more flavor of New Orleans, which I think,
Yeah.
aside from nondescript warehouse 24.
Yeah, it definitely looks, you know, like a city now. But I don't know, like it feels moss covered, and we're not really getting a good look at the buildings. Still feels a little generic, but it is better than like, oh, here's a warehouse, here's another warehouse. Okay, yeah, this bit looks good right here. And as cool as this is, I hope it doesn't go on forever. Because it does seem like the sort of thing, like the sort of on the rails experience. You're like, all right, I've burned enough enemies. We can move on now.
Yeah, I suspect it's one of those. You get to do it for a little bit, and like the hope is that you want more when it's over.
Mm-hmm. I want there to be like a melee attack where it just bites into an enemy though, and like throws it to the side.
Oh yeah, you have to have that.
I mean, you have to have that.
So are you usually this cautious when you're playing?
With the New Order, I've gotten to the point, and I played that game a lot.
Yeah.
Where I'll do a balance.
Okay.
Where like I'm stealthy to the point that I'll take out the officers. And if you haven't played the New Order or the Old Blood, the officers are capable of calling in backup. Mm-hmm. So it's usually in your advantage, unless you just want a full-on firefight.
Right.
With lots and lots of enemy reinforcements to go kill those guys with a knife to the throat or something.
Yep.
So I typically do that and then go guns blazing because I feel like that's a pretty cool balance, or a pretty nice balance that shows what the game's about.
I wish that clarinet player was back to take the edge off this.
Yeah. I do like this Mick Gordon soundtrack though, because he did the one for Doom and the one for both Wolfenstein stuff, and a bunch of other id games. So it's nice to have him back because I do feel like this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're running low on health. What'll happen?
You tell me.
I don't know. We're about to find out. Oh hey, it's the Ultron robots from the second Avengers movie.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that's a new look at Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus. Obviously, I'm super excited. I'm hoping the writing, that's what I'm mostly concerned about right now. The ambition and the writing of this, just because they're upscaling at the concept at least pretty hard.
Yeah.
Pans out. I'm afraid that it's going to do like the bigger is better sort of thing and not be better for it. But we'll see. Like, I'm still excited to play it, and it looks like moment by moment it'll be the same kind of fun the New Order was.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time.